Isn't it amazing how the narrative has shifted? With a ceasefire in place and, God willing, a full hostage deal recovery coming up soon, look how quickly the propaganda machine has shifted its attention. They have gone from screaming day and night, there are children freezing in Gaza, even though it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit, there's children who have lost their lives in the frost outside. There's no food, there's no tissues, there's no anything. We've gone from that, God help us, we're in dire condition, please, we're desperate, everything, it's the worst thing ever. So quickly, like that, we've gone to, wow, look at our victory. Look how we defeated the Israeli tanks. Look what a smashing success Gaza is. We've been able to overcome the most powerful army in the Middle East. Isn't it unbelievable that this propaganda machine is so goal-driven that it feeds the world exactly what is needed based on what their military, strategic, terrorist military goals are. If they're hiding something in the Shifa hospital, which they were hiding hostages there, then wow, all eyes on Shifa. God help us get the Israeli army away from the Shifa hospital. They'll get every doctor in the Shifa hospital on a Western outlet. Wow. Next, they'll hide someone in another Gazan hospital, the Indonesian hospital, the Al Ahli hospital, wherever their terrorist activity is, all their branches, all these humanitarian organizations in the West, on campus, wherever it may be, boom, exact identical messaging. Yahya Sinwar, the head of Hamas, the chief terrorist, surrounding himself by a human shield of the Israeli hostages. He's in Rafah. Immediately, more than 1 billion people see on social media, all eyes on Rafah. Why? Because it is a cynical propaganda machine that seeks and profits from maximizing humanitarian and civilian casualties in Gaza. That is how they thrive. That is how they succeed. And now that they've achieved everything they need because of their useful friends in the West, they are now going on to, wow, what an extraordinary victory. And to the groups on campus, the groups who've been cheering on the streets for them, look at yourselves how pathetic you've become. You've become a shill, a piece for a terrorist organization, just filling their needs on order without even getting anything for it, just being useful shills for this terrorist organization. Now the narrative has not been for a minute to celebrate the ceasefire, to celebrate the cessation of hostilities. We have not seen any. You see here in Yale University, did anybody celebrate the ceasefire they were advocating for 15 months? All the groups that were cheering and begging and screaming and saying we need a ceasefire now, where are they when the ceasefire has arrived? No. Immediately, their narrative is, quote, this is what they're writing, Gaza rises, Zionism falls. Immediately, they reveal their genocidal intentions. They're seeking to eradicate Israel right away, on board, on messaging, and there is no pause for 1 day. And so, to all those falling for this propaganda, stop for a minute, realize you've been victims of disinformation. Suddenly, no frostbite. Suddenly, it is indeed 70 degrees on the beach in Gaza. Suddenly, everyone's overweight or well-fed or has everything they need. Everything's fine, and it's a total victory. And yay, there they are with their fingers, their Coca-Colas. Suddenly, it's all fine and dandy. Don't fall for the disinformation. The most important thing to advocate for is indeed human life, and human life is best preserved by the removal of Hamas. Hamas is the greatest enemy of the people in Gaza. Hamas is responsible for the carnage in Gaza, which is horrible. Hamas is responsible for the many civilians killed in Gaza, which is a terrible thing. Every civilian killed is a tragedy, and Hamas is responsible for that. And if you want to see a better future for Gaza, you need to see Hamas go. That's the only way to do it. So don't fall for the propaganda. Don't be a victim of disinformation. Keep your eyes open to reality. And most importantly, let's hold those agents of Hamas in the West accountable, those who've been the propaganda and disinformation machine. Let's hold them accountable. Let's make sure there's transparency achieved in that sense.